the food chain. You see, on top there's Don Lino.
Right.
There's me. And there's regular fish.
Oh, that's me.
No. There's plankton. There's single-cell amoebas.
Oh, then there's me.
I'm getting there. There's coral. There's rocks. There's whale poo. And then there's you.
That's messed up.
Well, this was a week. Probably one of the weeks of all time. On paper, probably a nothing burger coming in with very few ranked versus ranked matchups and a lot of conference games that should be blowouts. Therefore, you would expect such a week to be a somewhat boring video. Oh, how wrong you would be for thinking this. The amount of madness and chaos witnessed on this day would be enough to send many casual fans of college football into the fucking loony bin for not being able to handle the nonsense. Hell, I have to drink while writing this fucking script just to handle it, and I've been a die-hard fan ever since I was a boy. So strap in, grab some popcorn, and if you're a fan of some certain teams in this video, the strongest liquor legally possible. This was a game Kansas State needed a win to regain some kind of momentum for the rest of the season. From Big 12 contenders to a big-ass laughing stock. The only quality win they have so far is against UCF. The fucking Knights, dude. Likely trying to take advantage of a sputtering Baylor team, they start off strong with an Avery Johnson touchdown run. Baylor also needed a win very badly here after a rough start to the season. So what does quarterback Sawyer Robertson do? He throws an interception. Same old Baylor bullshit. The problem is the Wildcats couldn't take advantage of the mistake. Twice. Baylor fumbled it away on their next possession, and they still went 3 and out. Hey, newsflash assholes, if you force a turnover, you need to get some points out of it. Baylor takes advantage of Kansas State not taking advantage of them and takes the lead 10-7. From there, the scoring floodgates were partially open as it was suddenly 17-all going into the half. Early in the third quarter, however, Baylor would stall out while the Wildcats would finally take advantage of Baylor bullshitting by scoring 2 touchdowns and take a 31-17 lead. Now, if you have been paying attention at all so far this season on these videos, you probably won't be shocked to hear what happens next. Baylor would go on a 10-play drive only to turn the fucking ball over on downs. Well, this one's over. Let's just move on to the next.
Robertson with time, a wide open Bryson Washington. Trucking one defender, trucking two.
Wait, the Wildcats did nothing and Baylor scored a touchdown and a 2-pointer? Seriously, Kansas State, your offense is god fucking awful. Let's see if Avery Johnson has a single ounce of clutch in his body.
Rush off the edge. It's about time. The pressure comes, and so does the turnover. Jacob Redding streaking down the sideline. All he wanted to do was play for Baylor. He's realizing the dream today.
Not a single fucking soul is surprised he's blowing the game here. Baylor takes a 1-point lead in spite of their own efforts. Thankfully, Kansas State is finally able to drive it downfield on the next drive and kick a field goal to take a 2-point lead. Baylor says nuh-uh and does the same thing to retake another 1-point lead. Kansas State also says nuh-uh and drives downfield to kick a field goal with 5 seconds left.
Jenkins grabs it.
In the Big 12 Battle of the Frauds, it was Baylor who came away victorious. The downfall of the Wildcats continues as the only answer the internet has agreed on for their struggles so far is fucking Ireland of all things. Maybe if the offense would just score when the defense produces turnovers, the nearly 40 minutes of total possession the Wildcats had in this game wouldn't have gone to waste, just like this entire season for Kansas State. It's the first of 3 games that will determine who gets their hands on the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, as some jacked-up desk pilots take on some very wet seamen. As one naturally expects with the U.S. military, both sides did nothing but bomb the shit out of each other. The biggest bomber of them all was ironically not the Air Force. It was Blake Horvath of the Navy, who fired his cannons with deadly accuracy. 3 touchdowns and 339 passing yards is normally enough to sink their enemies, but Air Force would hang around long enough to make the fourth quarter in Annapolis a very explosive one. After a back-and-forth game, Air Force would drop a bomb of their own to Bruin Fleischman from 18 yards out to tie the game up. Blake Horvath says, "Aw, cute," and fires a fucking cruise missile from 60 yards out to retake the lead 31-24. Air Force's quarterback chuckles and has a B-52 drop a fucking Moab from 53 yards out to tie it again at 31. In the end, though, Navy strings together a 60-yard drive late in the fourth to kick a field goal to take the lead for good. Air Force did get the ball back, but then they remembered why they're desk pilots and fumbled the ball to lose the game. This game may not matter at all much right now in the national sense, but Navy is 5-0 and currently in first place in the American Conference. Between them, Memphis, North Texas, and USF, it's gonna be a dogfight for that group of 5 playoff spot, as there is next to no one left in the other mid-majors that could probably compete for it. Imagine if they make the playoffs only to lose to Army before the first round begins. That'd be fucking nuts, wouldn't it? Yeah, I have no cute little jokes or funny wordplay here. Iowa State went to fucking shit in this one. You let the Bearcats, the fucking Bearcats, who we all thought were 3 steps away from firing their head coach, annihilate you in the nip. Not even 13 goddamn penalties committed by Cincinnati could save your asses. Cincinnati got up on the Cyclones 17-0 in the first quarter, and then were up 31-7 in the second and never looked back. Cincinnati's quarterback Brendan Sorsby is the real deal after leading Cincinnati to their first win over a ranked opponent since 2021 when they won the American Championship over Houston. The key to victory for the Bearcats was apparently Skyline Chili and pure fucking rage. 260 yards on the ground for Cincinnati made it extremely clear that the Cyclones had officially reached their limit on depth, with 16 players out with injuries, especially on the defense. Iowa State's offense didn't do much better as Rocco Becht played fine, but turnover on downs and not converting on third at all killed them throughout the game. Do I think a loss like this eliminates Iowa State from contention? No, not at all. Remember what fucking conference this is. It's the Big 12. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. Fuck, Oklahoma State could even win a goddamn game this weekend. Okay, so Chaos Conference has its limits. This wasn't a football game. This wasn't even an ass whipping. It was cruel and unusual punishment for Tar Heel fans. Dabo Swinney walked into Chapel Hill armed with chainsaws and cannons and into this game on the first fucking play. North Carolina never even stood a chance. It was the equivalent of getting rid of an anthill by dropping a fucking nuclear bomb on it. The fallout from this game is already showing, as fans left the stadium nearly abandoned by halftime. Why in the hell was this allowed to happen? Why were there such lofty expectations placed on a program that was always going to be liquid shit? To a degree, I blame ESPN and the media for overhyping this team during the offseason thanks to hiring Bill Belichick. Hell, I still remember people were screaming that North Carolina could be a fucking playoff team back in July. While they were feeding us this garbage, the wheels had already fallen off in Chapel Hill. You go all the way back to April when Jordan fucking Hudson created so much embarrassment over Belichick's interview with CBS, and being so goddamn toxic that she was rumored to have been banned from North Carolina facilities for a period of time, and HBO pulling out of a proposed Hard Knock style show because of her being a cancer. I mean, after all these distractions, you know what the fans get for their loyalty? That first touchdown against TCU. After that, they should have all just got up and walked out of the stadium immediately and gone home because the season was effectively over. You know, Mac Brown wasn't perfect in his second stint at UNC. The game had passed him by and he wasn't going to get the heels to the next level. But you want to know what he did do? Keep the program stable. He won a minimum of 6 games per season during his 5 years there. When he left, they basically traded one coach that was washed up with a coach who comes in with more drama than the Jersey fucking Shore and is even more washed up. And they also paid $50 million for the privilege of getting fucked in the ass by him too. It would be best for the sake of everyone's sanity to just not show up for Tar Heel football the rest of the season. He's clearly punting the season away and waiting for new recruits and transfers to come in. Tell the program with your fucking wallets that you deserve better than this, because truly, North Carolina fans, you do. Save that money for basketball season. You'll feel much better. All right, Penn State, last week was rough, but it's nothing that a road trip to California to get some sunshine and a free win can't fix. In a half-empty Rose Bowl stadium, you are taking on a team that has been a garbage fire since week 0. With no head coach or offensive or defensive coordinators, it should be like watching a wolf hunt down an injured rabbit. Just make this quick and painless for the 12 people who bothered to come to the Rose Bowl today and watch this slop.
And they have not had a lead this season as well. They might have one right here. Reaching for the pylon. Touchdown, UCLA. Quasi Gilmer stretches it out for the score. 7 for 7 so far this year. And he's got it up and good.
Play. Get the quarterback.
Nico fires. End zone. Touchdown. And it's Adi Malala.
Guys.
Iomaliaba gonna go deep. Double coverage.
Oh, no. No. Oh, my fucking God. I can't. What? Penn State. There was absolutely zero excuse for this to have happened. Absolutely none. UCLA, a team that is dead to rights and shouldn't even be breathing the same air as you, yet they took a bouquet of thorny roses and shoved them up your ass. 446 yards of offense against what many consider one of the best defenses in the country. 3 fucking touchdowns scored by Nico Iamaleava, who has been playing like he left all his talent in Tennessee. He only scored 4 goddamn touchdowns total coming into this game. 280 yards rushing by a team who can't run the goddamn ball to save their life? No, James Franklin. This wasn't because you didn't handle the loss to Oregon well or the travel to California well. There is no excuses. This was a disaster, an embarrassment, the choke of all chokes. You ate so much shit, it's coming out of your fucking ears. Penn State Nittany Lions? What fucking Lions? All I saw was a herd of raccoons getting thrown into a goddamn incinerator. What happened in Rose Bowl Stadium on Saturday afternoon in Pasadena is one of the damnedest things I've ever seen on those hallowed grounds. You were more embarrassing than the coachless, directionless UCLA goddamn Bruins. They lost their offensive coordinator a few days ago and only had 48 hours to game plan. Nothing like this has happened since 1985 when 0-6 UTEP of all teams took down number 7 BYU. This isn't a loss you recover from. This is a season ender. Fuck, it should be a career ender for James Franklin. You think you're making the playoffs still when you have Ohio State on the road in 3 weeks? And undefeated Indiana later on this season? You fuckers are going full Texas A&M and going 8-4 at best after being touted as one of the best Penn State teams in a generation. The fan base wants blood, and I can't blame them. It's turning from anger into full-blown rage, and they are done giving a fuck at this point. Of course, you are the first back-to-back winners of Dumbass of the Week. This shit isn't even funny anymore, it's just sad. You are more than a skid mark on the underpants of the Big Ten now. You are the biggest goddamn embarrassment of a football team in the entire country. And yes, I'm including UMass, Akron, and Kent State when I say that. You are worse than them because we knew they were going to be bad. Enjoy the valley of the unranked, you stupid fucks. May you remain banished for the rest of the goddamn season.
They're going to be aggressive and throw a deep ball, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Martell Height. The first turnover of the year committed by Alabama shortly thereafter. On 2nd and 4. Alexander breaks free. They're going to try to run him down, and they will not. Touchdown, Vanderbilt, 65 yards. That is no good. A walk-on running back in the game. Javier pulls it down. He's into the secondary and shoved out of bounds on 3rd and 10 from the Anderson pulled it out.
Oh, hell, Vandy. In a day full of chaos and upsets, the ultimate upset, unfortunately, did not come to pass. Alabama beat Vanderbilt, yes, but the final score doesn't reflect the game itself. Alabama came out flat and was terrible, with quarterback Ty Simpson throwing an interception. Vanderbilt jumped on the opportunity to take an early lead, but the game began to slip from there. A fumble and an interception from Diego Pavia in the red zone sums up the missed opportunities that the Commodores had. The Vanderbilt defense played as well as they could, but shutting down Jam Miller, Jeremy Bernard, and Ryan Williams was always going to be a tough ask. The one thing I want to make clear from this game, however, Vanderbilt is legit. No, they didn't win, but the pieces are there to regroup and still make a run for the playoffs as a wild card. They get a desperately needed week off next week before they go play LSU, a game that I think they should be able to win. Don't be shocked if Vanderbilt makes its way back to the top of the rankings real soon. But even if this is the end, I'm proud of you, Vandy. And I believe the days of you being the SEC doormats are forever gone. I hope. This game probably fell through the cracks from the bigger stories on Saturday, but it was an absolute gem to watch in Louisville. In a game with major stakes for the ACC championship race, we have both the undefeated Cardinals and the 24th ranked Cavs, who may have lost to NC State, but thankfully for them, that wasn't a conference game for some reason. The Cardinals have had one of the best offenses in the country, but that doesn't mean shit when you keep turning the ball over, which happened on their opening drive as Virginia scooped and scored to take a 7-0 lead. Louisville rebounded with a 12-play drive on their next possession to tie it at 7, but Chandler Morris continues to show his skills with a 16-play drive, ending in a touchdown pass to Cam Ross. Miller Moss tells UVA to hold his beer as the Cards get a touchdown pass of their own to Chris Bell to tie it at 14. From there, it was a chaotic stalemate. A missed field goal by Louisville, a turnover on downs by Virginia, and a pick six thrown by Miller Moss. You know you guys cannot keep flirting with death, right? After that, both defenses stepped up and kept the high-power offenses at bay. It wasn't until 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter that Miller Moss would find Chris Bell in the end zone and a 50-yard field goal on their next drive to tie this sucker up at 24. Virginia would run out of time, and thus we are going to overtime. Thankfully, the only one that I have to cover at length this week. Overtime! Louisville would get shut down on their first possession of overtime and be forced to kick a field goal. With that, Virginia had had enough and calls game.
They shuffled two offensive linemen plus the tight end C. Jennings to the right side. And the redshirt freshman Kalen, direct snap. Taylor, touchdown! Virginia wins it in overtime for the second week in a row.
Look the fuck out. The Cavs are 5-1 for the first time since 2007. What does that mean? Nothing yet. Gotta win out and see where the cards may fall. But when the toughest opponent remaining for the Cavs is Duke, yeah, I'd say 11-1 is easily in sight for them. As for Louisville, they ain't dead, but they have to win out and hope for some dominoes to fall in their favor to make the ACC title game at this point. That, and they also need to stop it with the goddamn turnovers. Oh dear fucking God, Texas. You let Florida do that to you? First game of the SEC schedule, and you are completely embarrassed in the swamp by Billy goddamn Napier. This is multiple layers of bad. The first and most obvious, you have guaranteed Sunbelt Billy will remain at Florida for the remainder of the season. Depending on which team you ask in the SEC, they are either thrilled or mildly annoyed about this development. Speaking of fucking development, you know who needs a lot of that right now? Arch Manning. This is why the name on the front matters a hell of a lot more than the one on the back. He was absolutely terrible in this game. He threw 2 interceptions and constantly missed his receivers when they were wide open. Not to mention, he was getting the shit kicked out of him by the Florida defense all afternoon. Literally the same goddamn shit that he was doing against Ohio State in week 1, and not a damn thing has been changed. When DJ Lagway is showing more improvement week over week after starting the season being absolutely fucking pathetic, you have royally fucked up. What in the hell is your quarterback coach doing, Sark? You can only praise a kid for his last name for so long before we all start calling bullshit on it. And I've been smelling bullshit on this son of a bitch since that first fucking game against the Buckeyes. Texas is beyond screwed right now. You might as well just pack it up for the season. Sure, it's only one SEC loss right now, but look who you have left on the goddamn schedule. Oklahoma next week in Red River at the Cotton Bowl, Vanderbilt, Georgia, and looky if it isn't those damn Aggies coming to town ready to blow your ass apart with the spirit of 02. If it wasn't for Penn State fucking existing, I would be calling you the biggest disappointments in college football for this year. But thankfully for your sorry asses, that's not the case. Don't feel too bad, Arch. You're still like your old Uncle Peyton in one way. You both can't win in the fucking swamp. Washington? Did you leave your entire offense at the airport or some shit? Maryland isn't exactly playing great football here, but being up 20-0 midway through the third is extremely alarming for a team that is used to scoring more than 30 points a game. Is Maryland actually that damn good?
I don't agree with that call. Williams, quick throw, and it's a touchdown! Boston breaks in! Down from exhaustion. And they're back to throwing it. Williams taking a shot. Robot! And he caught it! Touchdown, Washington!
Wait, no, sorry, my bad. Maryland just remembered it's now October and turned into a fucking pumpkin in the fourth quarter. The Twerps gave up 24 unanswered points and lost the goddamn game. I am assuming it's because Washington's offense finally got an Uber from the airport and Maryland's offense forgot that football games are 60 minutes long. I've seen actual turtles react quicker than Maryland did when Washington was mounting their comeback. Any other week, this might have won you Dumbass of the Week, but considering what else happened on this day, again, be thankful this embarrassing defeat was buried by the headliners. The national media may not give a fuck, but you ain't gonna avoid me, you sacks of shit! I am looking forward to yet another October of Maryland misery. Talk about starting slow. In the first half, the offense was the drizzling shits, doing fuck all until late in the second quarter. Even after halftime, A&M couldn't do diddly-da-do shit until later in the third. Then the scoring finally began in earnest with 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it was a blowout, and the defense held Mississippi State to 9 points. But the offense we saw put up over 40 points on Notre Dame a few weeks ago was nowhere to be found in Aggie land. Is that because Mississippi State has a suffocating defense? Definitely not. They gave up 41 to Tennessee in an overtime loss last week. A&M is beginning to flirt with disaster as we near the midway point of the season. They started hot, but are struggling to maintain the momentum. With the trap game against Florida next week, do not be surprised if the Gators expose some weaknesses for the Aggies. The beauty of Billy Napier staying around is that he will keep it close with teams that are frauds and get blown out by the teams that are actually good. Just look at what happened to your little brother in the swamp. You cannot get comfortable now, Aggies. Not again. Now, before the final game, it's time to mention the games that we didn't have time for because of the excessive amount of chaos. You know what time it is. It's rapid fire. Hey, look, it's Michigan Light.
Down, that's knocked down, that's taken away. Off of the point of attack, all the way back. That's a big man touchdown.
At least you're doing better than Missouri State. Maybe you should have let Stoops leave last year when you had the chance. Have fun playing basketball. Luke Fickell quit trying to win in the fourth quarter. Pack your fucking bags, bro. Purdue is now 0-11 playing games right after Taylor Swift drops an album. Wait a minute. You lost to Ball State. Dear Lord, were you drunk off your ass? Timothy Chalamet is in fucking shambles right now. 9-20 and 17 of the losses are by double digits. Why does Trent Dilfer still have a job? Did UMass win a game this week? No? Still the worst team in all of college football? Good. You lost to Akron. Statistically the third worst team in the nation. Delete your program.
Home team that has had the advantage. Hand off to Lincoln Perry, who dives in. Touchdown.
Congrats to the Bobcats on another glorious. You missed the extra point.
First down, Rayner keeps it himself. Dives forward. Rayner
into the end zone, touchdown!
Who the fuck are you, Notre Dame? I'm only bringing this one up to look at the snow. Yes, it snows in Wyoming in October. Yes, this is peak football. Yes, the Cowboys were blown out anyways by Desert Rat Dan Mullen. With this win, the Red Raiders are in the top 10. Say it with me, kids. Money talks, bullshit walks. Wait a goddamn moment. Buffalo has a college football team? The Trojan men finished on top of some Jaguars. If South Alabama had changed their nickname to the Cougars, that would have been a great joke. You barely beat the rebuilding Knights. What in the hell happened to you guys being contenders? Colorado is more lost than a buffalo in Buffalo. All they could say at the end of this one, glory to fucking Hypnotoad. Hey look guys, Cal is up 21-7 on Duke. And it's gone. And now, the final game.
And now, for the next few minutes.
No, we're not doing this again. It's a dead meme and not worth the extra time this week. This was hyped up as the Sunshine rivalry, as it should be, but it was simply a Sunshine ass whipping. Carson Beck promptly fucked the Seminole defense so hard, he was lying in bed smoking a cigarette by the time Thomas Castellanos got to do anything. 4 goddamn touchdown passes, while the Miami receivers mocked the tomahawk chop in celebration. In the fucking doke. Tommy spent the whole game regressing, throwing 2 interceptions himself. Yet another goddamn team that promptly shit their pants a week after a close loss. That said, it's Miami, and they're playing their best football in almost 2 decades right now. While I'm still waiting for Mario Cristobal to give the Miami fans his usual October surprise of turning into a goddamn clown show, I will begrudgingly admit they are the favorites to win the ACC. For now. Virginia and Georgia Tech may have something to say about that still. As for the Noles, they're effectively eliminated from ACC title contention with their second conference loss. Bowl season should still be more than doable with games against Stanford, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech on the schedule. But you need to get the defense back in working operation and quick. It's clear you cannot rely on Castellanos to win the games by himself. So stop acting like he can. Otherwise, I will bring back As the Dope Burns, whether the subscribers want me to or not.